your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control, and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
I'm sitting in here in this waiting room, waiting to be dialyzed. And I mean, I don't know. I shouldn't say it, but I think they got favoritism. I come on the right time. And the next thing I know, somebody else that just got here, either going before me or was sitting here going before me, when I know my time. So when is they coming out here to get me? I need my treatment too. I mean, some of them are so nice, so maybe I just shouldn't say it, but it's just so much already going on in my life and going on at dialysis and going on, period, personally, spiritually, naturally. And I just don't know. They got to stick this big needle on my arm. I got to stay on the machine, blood in, blood out. I don't know. And I just sometimes it scares me, sometimes it upsets me, and sometimes I don't want to share it with my family, and sometimes I don't even want to share it with my friends, and some of them treating me funny anyway. So I just don't know. But they got groups out there that you could talk to and deal with. That's one of the things I like. But what is her name? Lay, Licky, I don't know. But no, Lisa Baxter, because this is the Lisa Baxter Show, giving you the 411 in the kidney world. Hello out there. Happy April. Happy Sunday and good afternoon. How about that? Wherever you at in the country. You know what I mean? And I tell you, this is Donors Month. So I got a kidney 8 years ago almost, that I call Hannah. So I am very grateful to that. So if you don't know any donors or anything like that, I'm a donor. If anything happened to me, Lord, I don't want nothing to happen to me, but I did want to do my part that way. But you can be a living donor as well. These are some of my bracelets for different things. Live on New York, heart. They got help and money and funds for every cause. So you remember that for whatever you're going through out there, that could happen. I wanted to tell you about this stuff, that native stuff, right? This is body spray, child. I don't know what odors you got or you're dealing with, but whatever you got, spray a little bit of this on it, you forget all about it. How about that? Besides the soap and water, there's a little something going up in here. All right. The American Kidney Fund gave a little kit out. Isn't that nice? Your little emergency kit and stuff like that. This is a Bible prayer book, and this book is great for all needs. How about that? Yeah. And let me also share with you. I'm old school, so the Back to Eden book, we grew up with that Back to Eden book with herbs to heal you. And this one is a prescription nutrition healing book, all right, by Phyllis A. Barch. All right. Excellent book. You look something up and you go for it. I had to get some drops for my eyes, and it's an herb. You know what I mean? And from my church, New Life Cathedral, this is one of the awards they gave me. It's so beautiful. I don't know what happened. I took it out the box, and Lord knows, I hope I wasn't the one who broke it. So I have to talk to my Archbishop and the rest of the team about it. But it was a beautiful award, and for being a member and all these kind of things. But I'm definitely going to get to the show. How about that? I got such a fantabulous guest. Oh, child, you won't believe it. Let me tell you a little something about her, and she's going to tell you something about herself. Yes. All right. She's an author. She's a CEO. Annette Perry. I call her Aurora. I have to call her that. That's her business name, but I call her Aurora. Anywho, she's resilient. She's a warrior with cystic fibrosis. She's wear many creative hats. Okay, she's freelance. She's a community activist. She's a parent. She has a background in technical design and social services. Okay, that's what I'm going to say about her. So I'm going to welcome her to the show. Aurora, introduce yourself, girl. Well, you've been introduced. Come on here.
Thank you for that beautiful introduction. Thank you. Um, Again, guys, my name is Annette. I've been doing design for many years, technical design, freelance design, and costuming. I've also been publishing. I have several books, part of Nan Said series, as well as poetry books that I've produced for myself and others, as well as the wonderful Lisa's book, Giving Gets a Kidney.
That's
Do
right.
see all those books online. I'm sure you have a list of places that they can pick it up. You can also go on lulu.com. I have all of my collection on aromaglobal.com. I'm going to add your book there too, if you don't mind, so that they can reach out and get that book from just about every avenue possible.
Oh, well, that's wonderful. And how sweet. That is great. Now, let me ask you some questions, and thank you for the introduction.
Absolutely.
Or the added introduction. Tell us about your job or your job activities that you do or used to do. Your position you holding or held.
The list is very extensive.
Well, go to the last job or any job that you'd like to share or feel free sharing. We're going to start with that.
No worries. I mean, my passion is in arts and design. I'm a very creative person. So I've always been kind of doing work in that field. Even in social work, I'm doing stuff either with graphic design. But my main thing is garment apparel design. I am a huge avid fan of costuming. So I do a lot of that throughout the year as well, commission-based work. I do that as being part of community advocacy and doing things with the community, especially with children. One of my biggest loves. I write for children mostly. And I like to create with children because it's through them that we really, make and see change in this world. So whether it's me basically teaching and pouring out all that I know into them, it'll be whatever I've acquired over my years of either with school, with other jobs. I just want to give that to them. I want to help them grow. I want to help them be creative and see something different than what they're seeing, out there in social media.
Wow. Well, that's beautiful. That's great. I have a love for children myself. I do a lot of things with children and the juvenile justice system, and things like that. And even in the schools and after schools. So it's an important thing to be with them and to support them and to even listen to them. A lot of people don't listen to them or notice their creative gene, so thank God, and my hats off to the parents that do, or the people recognize that about the children. What is it that you actually do in the school with them, and what is it actually that you do in the community?
So in schools, I do a lot of reading. I do a lot of kind of assistance with parent coordination with some of the things going on with the kids. In any school my daughter has been in, and in any of the community schools that I've helped with, whatever they call on me for, I'm there for. Doing a fashion show, you need help filing, whatever it is, I'm there. I'm there when it comes to advocacy. I'm there when we're trying to do recruitment if they need an extra hand. I'm really good when it comes to things in administration because I've been doing that for umpteen years. So, I put those skills to work where they're needed. In the past couple of months, and especially last year, I've been really deep with Success Community Garden, getting a lot more events going, and especially things geared toward young people and things when it comes to art. This next weekend, we're actually doing a event for Earth Day, and we're going to have a little creative recycling event going on Saturday. We're hoping to get everyone come out, get those creative juices flowing, and do something for our planet.
Yes,
in addition to, we're going to be having other things going on there too, but it's all about that awareness reduce, reuse, recycle. We're looking to bring back the sewing program that I did last year. I did a short series on basic sewing, how to
Excellent.
sew, how to
Mhm.
measure yourself, how to use your sewing machine. There's a lot of people who have them,
That's right.
don't use them, or they just forgot. I'm also going to bring back Faye Day because we don't have enough of our people, and by our, I mean people of our color, in that fantasy world and realm for our children to reflect to.
Yeah.
So it's a chance for them to come out, dress up, and then just be free in a garden space. I've recently done some tea serving throughout the city, especially last year, and I did it recently in the local community center for the teens, trying to get them into mindfulness and awareness of what it means to be mindful, to have a practice that's a little different than meditation, but also similar in the effect. I'm really huge when it comes to knowing our history in that respect, in a creative aspect. I feel like we all kind of fall into the same circle, no matter where you come from. We don't do enough investigating and kind of bridging those gaps. Like we all know we're all the same on the inside, but
Yeah.
you'd be surprised how much we are on the outside too. Even though we look different, we come from very similar backgrounds.
Well, kids get that, and they're very friendly, very easy, and stuff like that. Not so much like, the adults sometimes. Now,
Yeah.
I'm going to shift gears into your warrior experience, because I was very impressed with you, because not only with all the stuff that you deal with, you also work while you're doing it. You're a mother while you're doing it. You know what I mean? You're a wife. You know what I mean? You're a family member. You're a community advocate. And you just so much, in spite of what you deal with or go through, you would never know you was going through it if you didn't say anything. So tell us about your journey. It's
Absolutely.
fibrosis, with cystic fibrosis, and tell them what it is, please.
Yes. Cystic fibrosis, I've been diagnosed very young. It's a genetic disorder. It is very complex because it deals with a lot of organ systems. Majorly, it's a dysfunction of the pancreas, and it affects a lot of other major organs like the kidneys, the lungs. It's different, with different people. There are different genes that can be affected. So even, two people with the same disease can have, a very different way that it shows up and affects them, the type of medication, things they have to go through. But for me personally, it is a lot of time and dedication required for therapy, just to kind of have a baseline of some sense of normalcy, because it affects like digestive system and lungs, which is pretty huge, to just be able to pick up and do anything. You got to be able to breathe right. You got to be able to eat and process.
That's so true.
Yeah. Like I said, I've been dealing with that since I was a child. Because this is something that had not been studied very well in African Americans, because it was touted as a disease for Caucasians. Research on medications and treatments for us has come a long way in the last couple of years, but prior to that, it was kind of slow going. And so, our generation is a lot better, but there was a lot of struggle for people of color. And I've been doing a lot of work with diversity, equity, and inclusion in healthcare systems in the last couple of years to, be a community advocate in addressing that. What we need to see, being part of research that is going on where I can, because it's sorely needed. It's overdue. We're changing policies, we're changing textbooks. We're really making history. And it's a lot. It's a lot of physical demands on a day-to-day basis. A lot of when you're younger, you're more spry, you got that energy and stuff. You can do a lot more that will just make it a little easier. But as we get older, we get a little tired. So
it's challenging. It's challenging
yeah.
dealing with an illness, I know with polycystic kidney disease and things of that nature, and even having a transplant, that those are a combination of things that I deal with, you know, the side effects of medication. So I'm sure you deal with side effects. I'm sure you take a medication for this, or I know you're doing things with your herbs and things of that nature. What is that like, or what type of my husband used to say, make me a concoction, one of your concoctions. What is God bless him. What is your concoction that you have made, and what have they prescribed for? In other words, what have you been prescribed for you, and then what have you prescribed yourself through the herbs? That's what I'm asking.
So, not to give any medical advice to anyone or anything, but I always kind of try and figure out active ingredients first with the medications, and see what herbally relates to something in that realm. If it's like in the beginning for me, the first major, I guess, thing when it came to taking control of my medication from being a child and growing up, I looked into asthmatics a lot. And so I drew a lot of conclusions from things recommended for people with asthma, because my condition has a lot of similarities. And sometimes it's not even in adding some of the supplements and herbs, sometimes it's taking away things. And a major one, which I feel like everybody knows now, milk, cheese. We need to keep those in that day. We need to maybe cut those out. Right. And so after that, things really shifted. It became a lot easier to then add in supplements, because sometimes when your body is fighting something and it's something that you can prevent, you putting supplements on top of that, it's not going to work or not be as effective, because it's having to kind of, in that case, dig through the sludge that the mucus as being created from all that cheese and milk and dairy and stuff. So I got to actually put in kind of what I would say now is regular things that just enhance, like lemon water. Now there are, of course, herbs like mullein. Making mullein teas for me is a huge thing. I like to do that with ginger, cloves, garlic. I do medicinal juices. They don't taste good. A lot of those things are bitter, but a lot of things in nature that are bitter have a much more powerful effect, especially when it comes to digestion in the lungs. So I do a lot of research. I'm a gardener. I spend a lot of time with my plants, researching. I dry them, I pluck. I'm learning more and more. I have that Back to Eden book. I have that book that you held up before, that health prescription. Yes.
Oh yeah.
I've had that since I was a teenager.
Wow. That was my husband's book that we were using together, because he had colon cancer. Yeah. So yeah. So wow. Yeah, it has so many good things in that. You know what I mean? So you right about the bitter. Even the thing I'm taking that I'm trying to do what they said for pain, I had to clear it with my doctor first. And oh man, that stuff tastes so horrible. I said, woo, I had to like hold my breath, and I just drank it down. I said, Lisa, come on, we want to be pain-free, girl. We want to be pain-free.
Yes.
I'm using my, get out of there. Thank you. That's one thing about when you're live or trying to do something live or recording, you get a little surprise here and there.
Of course. Nice.
This is my job laptop. I use my other laptop in the room. So I didn't want any, because my Facebook announcements come up so much. You hear all the noise. Ding, 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 ding. I said, oh. Yeah, so I didn't want to have to stop that. But hey, you gotta laugh at life, don't you? You know, you can't cry about everything, even though some stuff deserves some tears. Some of it deserve a funeral too. You know what I mean? They just say give your issue or your problem a funeral and bury it or something, some crazy stuff. But hey, you'd be surprised what works. You'd be surprised what works. You know what I mean? So, okay, so you got this thing going on. You got this gift and talent. You got that challenge of health, but you haven't let it stop you, which is a good thing. So how did you get to publishing, or what made you start to publish? What made you start to even, I think you have do something with YouTube or something?
Yeah, I used to write a lot, because I spent a lot of time in hospitals as a kid. So I used to write a lot through like junior high school. And over the pandemic, it was, that shift for everybody. And I was kind of pulling through old stuff. And like, I always wanted to get into publishing. I just didn't fall into that coming out of high school. And so I decided to just pick it up and get it done. I like pushed myself to get these writings out, learn how to do all the formatting. It was work to like really, so you got to kind of psych yourself up because you're kind of not sure if this is what you should be doing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And so, I'll be like, you know what, this is for me, this is for my history, whatever happens, happens. But this is something I want to do. So I started with my poetry. And when it came to the children's books, it was just, to me, it was kind of like a no-brainer because these are the stories I tell my daughter that come up as I'm teaching her, as I'm growing and shaping her. These are lessons from my childhood. A lot of these stories are pretty much based on actual events in some way, shape, or form. And I wanted to bring those things, those lessons into the podcast form because I, in a sense, reviewed children's books as well as mine for the lessons that we pick out as adults. We purchase and we share these stories for that reason for the most part, but sometimes I don't feel like we look into kind of the messages that are being picked up. And it's not in every case, but I wanted to explore that with adults to see what they're picking up. Because regardless of what the child might pull out of it, we're still the parent. We're still shaping them. So we're gonna be the ones kind of guiding and telling them, in a sense, what they should leave with. So I want to make sure the adults are leaving with the right message and also able to communicate it to the young readers. Because I'm thinking, by 3, you're reading to them. 5, 6, maybe they start picking up a few things themselves, but you're still guiding them. And so sometimes the language, they may not completely understand, but they hear it, just like they hear your adult conversations. And sometimes it's conversations that are adult, but doesn't mean that it couldn't be broken down for children. And I know definitely growing up, they would stay in the child's place.
Oh, yeah.
And
I heard
that's
that.
still a thing, but I feel like more conversations need to be opened up to be child relatable. Because sometimes it's not about the age, it's just about the language. Like one of the books I have about talking about drinking alcohol, you don't have to wait until the cup comes close to their face. We can introduce the information early if it's around them, especially. It's nothing, out of the norm to have a party at your house, whether it's, adults or younger people. Adults may or may not want to have, alcohol or just things that kids shouldn't drink. It just might be too strong. It could be ginger beer, which is not alcoholic, but you would normally give that to a young child. But having a conversation about right, appropriateness and inappropriateness, and also the lessons of you making a clear boundary to a child about something they should and shouldn't have in an event space. This is not just private at home. We could be out at the family barbecue. This is something you shouldn't have. These are the reasons. It doesn't have to be a long, extensive conversation, but it's like, don't pretend that it's impossible that, this would come in their space and they wouldn't know what to do with it. Especially if it's, young kids, somebody hand them a cup, they just drink it. They don't look, or something that looks like soda. Stick, these things
smell or taste like soda, but if they, just you trust your friend, or you at an event, you figure, they know what to do, and so you just saying, oh yeah,
And then they take their cues from us too. If we engaging, having fun, and this is part of it, they think it's okay because we're having fun, we're engaging. To them, there's no real difference between, a
Right.
beverage in the midst of it all. We're
Yeah.
just having fun. And you
Well,
really want
yeah.
to educate them on that.
Archbishop was talking about that today, about shaping this generation. And a lot of times he did talk about, how, we are an example, and how when we were growing up one thing and how they're growing up is a different thing. And sometimes you have to be colorful or creative on how you are going to teach this thing to them. And who's in the circle, or I guess who's in your life that can add to this or take away from this? Who else are they watching? Kind of thing, you know what I mean? So even having children on this show, I let them tell their side of the story, or what they're dealing with, or what was their takeaway from whatever illness they're dealing with, or the family member, their mother, their grandmother, whoever had it, what I'm kind of thing. And they don't mind. One thing about kids, they're very loving and they're very open. And if you honest with them, they love the honesty. Once you lie to them, you almost lose them. I tell you that much. But
Yeah.
in your dealing with what you've been dealing with, also, have you ever had any kidney scares, or was worried that your kidneys would fail, or you would end up on dialysis, or that would be any type of challenge?
Yes, it is very common to have cystic fibrosis related diabetes.
Mm-hmm.
And I do have that now. It has been getting worse over the years. Doing supplements, lifestyle changes and all that. I try to stave it off as much as possible. I feel like after my daughter, and I got gestational diabetes, it really kicked it off for me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I first started using insulin and having those conversations about kidney damage, which is still kind of a roller coaster for me because, sometimes, you're doing your thing with your supplements and everything, it's going fine. And then something happens, flip gets switched. And then it's like, oh man, medication, can't figure out why this is going haywire. Numbers looking all crazy. So it's a constant. Again, I try to go back to detoxing, doing a lot of like flushing. I try to avoid as much as possible, to be honest, doing insulin and changing up the diet. I'm trying to get closer to more plant-based living to kind of help with that. But I do know this is par for the course with this kind of disease. So it's a constant roller coaster.
Well, you're doing well with it. I always find that you have to involve family. A lot of times people keep a lot of secrets from the family. And so when the person's in the hospital or on the respirator, have dead or passed away, then they be saying, oh, I didn't know they had that or that wrong in our family. I always say, know your family history. Find out how the drugs affect you, or the herb or anything you're doing affect you. You know what I mean? Because, I wasn't expecting to have bone joint disease and all of these different things and arthritis and stuff. And like you said about diabetes, even though my mother had it, I never had diabetes. My father had polycystic kidney disease, so that was a hereditary type of thing on a couple of us, not on everybody, but it was on a couple of us, including myself. So, you know what I mean? And that kind of thing, trickles off to something else. And I ended up with diabetes because of medication that I take for my kidneys. You know what I mean? So I'm like, even though I changed the diet, the pill, the pill or stuff, it caused me to have diabetes. I'm doing the right thing. They said, oh, you shouldn't eat that. I said, why? That's not what caused it. I said, this right here. Now, if you could take me off this or find something else in that place, work with a sister. You know what I mean? Work with me.
Yes.
I work with the whole team. I do. I work with the whole team who's in my team and my circle of health. So whether it's the dentist or the gynecologist, everybody, the eye doctor, my general practitioner, the kidney folk, you know what I mean? And I make sure they're all on what I'm dealing with. This is what happened, blah, 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 I share. And I make them share with each other. If you ain't shared it, then I'm gonna email everybody, pow, or text everybody, boom. You know what I mean? You gotta be involved in your own care and have a say in your own care. You know what I mean? And make your kids and your family powerful to do the same thing. The doctor said, oh, you're not gonna do that? I said, no. Or you're not gonna do. I said, no. I said, give me a reason why I should. I said, I'm the first person to do it if you tell me why I should do it, or give me a good reason. I really need this thing. Lisa really need it. Lisa gonna work with you. Lisa don't need it. Don't add that. I always say, who you trying to get through college that you're trying to give me another test or another procedure? Sister ain't taking all that. No, Shango. So those are the things that, we deal with a lot of these things, you know what I mean? But if you had to say something out there to a woman or to some kid or anybody dealing with cystic fibrosis, or anybody that even want to start a book company or anything like that, what would you say to them?
I would say you have to be a self-advocate first for all things in you, whether it's your health, whether it's your career. You have to really know yourself. Don't limit yourself, but also don't let someone else or something else limit you either. Sometimes we kind of get in our own heads about things like that. But in the end, it's kind of like putting your own respirator on first when you're doing your own self-advocacy. So whether it's you're going to the doctor, just like you were just saying, Lisa, about knowing your history, that's part of your self-advocacy, knowing your history, because you can't speak for yourself without the knowledge. You get that background knowledge, you can't apply yourself in a career sense of something when you don't have no knowledge of it. So you have to get the knowledge. Do that. That's work. It's not coming to you. You can't, even if you are just, YouTube University doing it, it's still work. You have to spend the time, get that knowledge and educate yourself so that you can create for yourself, that you can defend and fight for your health. That's the only way we can do it. Of course, our medical professionals want to keep you alive. They want to keep you healthy in the best way they're trained to. And it's wonderful. Just like you, I work with my whole team. I try to work with the family too, get all the information, share the information back, because we have to work together for each other to survive. And I never, it took me, to be matured enough to understand that the roles we all play. So like I said, they are trained to help us in a particular way. And us training ourselves when it comes to supplements and lifestyle, herbs and plants and all these things, we have nutritionists for that too, and they're trained a certain way, but nobody knows you like you.
That's right.
Listen,
that body.
Yeah. All of that, you have to.
It takes teamwork to make the dream work, and you definitely got to know your own body. I used to tell a doctor that. I have my degree in Lisa Baxter. Nobody knows Lisa Baxter 61 years but Lisa Baxter. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I'll work with you, but just work with me. If I say that I'm not feeling well over that, I want you to work with me about that. Don't still tell me to take it or make me take it, and it's not working well with me. My aunt died for not saying anything about a medication. You know what I mean? So, no. So, just work with me. We all nice around here. Now, who would you give a shout out to if you can give a shout out? And if you have any books or stuff around you, I want you to be able to show some of them and also give how you could be, how you could be reached or any event you might want to say where you're going to be. I know too, girl. I ain't mad at you. Come on here.
Oh man, the list is endless.
Oh,
the
Lord.
List is endless.
Well, give us
but I'm gonna say the creator. The creator first and foremost, and as I continue to know myself, I know more. The creator, I get closer and closer spiritually. I have so many people in the community, including yourself, that are just like shining stars and helping and being part of the journey. Like I said, I'm not even gonna go there. That's too big a list. But I will share out all the projects coming up. I could share, let me see if I can add this background for the books, which you can all find at auroraglobal.com. There are external links to that. They're also searchable on Google.
Great. What is that series? Not to interrupt you. That's it. There it is. I love that one. that series about Nana. Nana said, you ain't wrong. Okay. I love
Yeah,
Nana.
Nana says a lot. Nana is making sure that we get all of those life lessons in. I am still working on this series, but several of the books are already available online. I have a few in South Carolina Colleton County Library. Many different online retailers. I have a few audiobooks that my daughter has also done when she was a lot younger.
Oh.
Beautiful, where she put her own little spin on it. Love it. I have a few poetry books out there, like I said, on the website. You'll also be able to see a few of my other projects, as well as my sewing, costume, apparel projects. This is one of my t-shirts.
Nice. It's pretty. I see the nice color
Yes.
and everything on there. Woo.
I have this as well as a few hoodies available online. Yes, and I'm continuing to do a lot of like I said, community events and things coming down the pipeline for the neighborhood, creative, art-based. I've been helping a lot of our partners and organizations to kind of further their missions.
All right.
Anywhere I can give hands, I do my best.
I know that's right. Says, what are your hands to do? Do it. And thank God for
Yes.
that. But you've
Yes,
been an
this is my
awesome
purpose.
guest. You know what I mean? Being an author, being a warrior, a survivor, you name it, that's you, and being creative. So I thank you for giving Lisa Baxter time. I thank you for helping me with Gribbet Gets a Kidney. Thank you for helping me publish that and put it all over the places. You know what I mean? I appreciate that and hope to do some more books with you. I've written 7. So I just got to again, you guys out there, y'all rock. You know what I mean? I love y'all to the moon and back. You know what I mean? And I appreciate you. And I want you to appreciate yourself and appreciate somebody else. If you haven't or you forgot to, I want you to do that today. V for Victory Kidneys, and they will take care of you. Bless your life. Your girl giving you the 411 in the kidney world.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.